just to start off, yeah, this is not trading advice. I do not, everything here is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not your financial advisor. Starting off with hitting the 240 SMA. What's this guy? Clean up my chart a little bit here. No longer need that guy. Finding ourselves at the 240 SMA with a spike down right at the open. Oh, let's get close wrong. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, look at the 10K. Broke out of here, came down, tested the top of this, retested top of this. Beautiful. Comes back up, hits this. We have this trend line that needs to be updated now to this guy. It's getting a bit messy here. 10K, I think I'm going to keep that guy. Yeah, keep this guy. I'm going to get rid of this guy. Gonna get rid of this guy. So we got basically 3 channels going on right now. We have this channel, this ascending channel, and this ascending channel. It looks like it's getting like really wedged here, as you can see. Starting off the day with a couple bear bars here. 50% chance this will reverse. Got a couple traps to the downside. Oh, 240 SMA being hit on the 2K chart. And this would be a second bounce off. 2 traps though. This trap doesn't make a point. It does make a point. Reverses. Ooh. I just don't like the strong downtrend right now on the higher tick frames. Strong bear bar on the 5-minute. That could be a decent 2-leg pullback right there. Two-legged pullback waiting right here, the dark green number on the 240 SMA. Ooh, the 2K. ABC, so you guys can see. ABC. Two-legged pullback on. Ooh, terrible signal bar. We have enough room to the 20 SMA. Micro double bottom here. I just don't like the 2 traps pointing down right now. That means that the bear or the bull leg so far have been small. Small bull leg here, 1 tick. Small bull leg here, 3 ticks. But this has a good chance to make a point. But just seeing how these pullbacks have been so small, bad signal bar. The 5-minute showing some bearishness, but the 5 minutes on a nice support here on the 240 SMA. Indecision by the market, 1, 2, 3 overlapping bars. Breaking down by 1 tick. Notice that this trap made a scalp. A scalper's profit, 5 ticks exactly. Alright, I gotta clean up my 2K chart real quick before making decisions here. This is good trend line still. This needs to go. This needs to go because there's no, I can't update it anymore. I can't update it up here because then that would violate the uptrend or the downtrend. When trading the SMA, EMA, are you looking to take trades towards or away the SMA? Away, bouncing off. That's what I want. I want to bounce off of it. Or the SMAs can act as a support or resistance. Basically, the SMAs act as, or the MAs act as support and resistance. So if it's like on it, you want to bounce off of it. So good thing I didn't take anything here because the sentiment of the market's bearish. I think I gotta get rid of this big guy here. But also, you want to use EMA SMA to see if you have room to make a point. So if it's like gonna act as resistance when you're trying to go long, then do not go into that, because always assume there are buyers and sellers at the MAs. Always assume that. So if there's an MA in the way, you see a most beautiful setup, but there's an MA in the way, you gotta skip it. Unfortunately, it hurts, but you gotta do it because your wallet's gonna hurt more if you take it. Over time, definitely it will hurt more. Okay, so we got a semi-reversal here. I'm looking at a 2K chart, straight up 2000 tick chart. This makes a point here, as you can see, on a terrible signal bar. Perfect bounce on the 5-minute on this trend line. As you can see here, from here, this pivot, let's make sure that's right, yep, that pivot, it comes down to test it perfectly and bounces off of it, as you can see. But on the 5-minute, we have no counts. We have a gray 0 or gray 1 here, showing that the counts all have resetted and we're just starting all over again. So there's no trade on the 5-minute chart. The 10K looks bearish still. Probably gonna hit this intersection here, but we'll see. It possibly could not, but that's where you're kind of expecting to hit. 2K chart. This is tricky. You have a potential 2-leg pullback here. A, B, C, and we've been on a downtrend under the MAs. And so this will be a bounce off the MAs. I'll be pretty interested here if it gave me a 2-leg pullback right here. The only problem is that the 5-minute bounced off perfectly off here. I'll explain a failed entry if it shows up, or if I have time. I'm currently actively looking at this. So again, this is not financial advice. Do not copy my trades. Every decision you make is your own responsibility. I want to see this up leg here, and I want to see a good signal bar at the MAs to find a 2-leg pullback here, A, B, C. But we have yet to commence our second pullback. By the way, I'm going to stream probably for first hour of trading maybe. I'm off today, so this is a nice little experiment I can do here. See how many people are interested in this kind of content. So we have just the first pullback. We need another pullback here. Alright, so this bear leg is pretty small. 4 ticks so far. Okay, there we go. If it breaks under this pivot, the count's going to reset and we will no longer have a 2-leg pullback. This is looking nice if we get a 2-leg pullback to the MA here. I'm thinking something like that. Whereas now the 5-minute looked like it was bouncing off, but now look at this bear leg. Okay, so it breaks below, so we lost our 2-leg pullback. We lost our 2-leg pullback, so we do not have this set up any longer, which is a shame. So what's our next setup here? If you're feeling brave, aggressive, you can do this. A, B, C, and try to go on the reversal here. But I mean, looking at the 5-minute, I would not go long against this bar. Look at this bar, incredible. If anything, the market maybe has made its decision, but we still have some supports here that we can. We need to wait and see what happens with these supports. At the moment, strong downtrend, very strong downtrend, tight trading channel. This is a tight trading descending channel here. Tight trading channel as in like there's almost no room to make scalps either way. But I mean, you can buy limit orders maybe. Okay, good signal bar there on the 2K chart, right at support. That might be tempting for a lot of people, but look at this bear bar. You know, you don't trade against this kind of bear bar, especially after a breakdown. More likely it is to come back up, but there's a chance that it comes back down. It's not like a 90% trade. This is like very risky. So if you did go long there, you're probably sweating, thinking this was okay. So this is a trap here. It's two-legged pullback. Trap just triggered. This is looking bearish at the moment. Sorry, I should explain this, but here's a two-legged pullback. The second entry was right here, one tick above. Let me zoom in. So those who do not know what trap is, this was like a second entry. It goes only one tick and then reverses, and this reversal is a trap. You see how we have the magenta box here? This trap triggers because the second entry fails to make a scalper's profit, which is 5 ticks, right? And so those who went long here thinking this is going to reverse right at support, they're all trapped out now. So we kind of see this strong move to the downside. I already made a point on the trap. Good traps usually make points in a couple seconds, from my experience. So this two-legged pullback failed. Good thing I didn't take it, and good thing, you know, I took my own advice. Do not trade against this big bear bar on the 5-minute, big bear bar on the 10K chart, even at support at the moment. This is looking more and more attractive. You see the momentum slowing down here. Even the trap didn't trigger a big, like a big breakdown. This could make a point very easily, in my opinion, but I'm still waiting. I want to see a clear sign here. That can make a point very easily, in my opinion. Very easily make a point. Okay, it's already made a point. I didn't take that trade, but that was a good point here because you saw the slowing down of momentum. A second entry here after the trap. But typically I don't like to trade after traps because, you know, the bullish sentiment here. Strong bull trend or strong bear trend, but we are at a reversal. Long tail on the 5-minute, 10K hitting the support perfectly. I do have many videos on failed second entries on the channel. Someone's asking for me to make a video on failed second entries. Check the channel out. You can find plenty of videos. I have at least 2 videos, but you know, I mean, you can look through my other videos. I'm not sure if you can search and it goes through the descriptions, but if you search trap or something like that on my channel, you might be able to pull up some of the let me see if that works, because in the descriptions I say if I enter a trap trade or not. So let me check that out for you guys. If I search trap on my channel, what happens? Alright, very cool. Yeah, so if you type in trap in my channel, you can even see the videos that I entered trap trades, because in the description I try to give, you know, a somewhat brief description of every trade I take. And so if I took a trap trade in like one of my other videos, like my live trading, live commentary videos, you can pull up, and you can also look in the time index and find good. Yeah, it's December. Someone's asking about light volume on ES. It's true. I think December plus the location we're at, we're kind of grinding up, and the grind ups usually have very low volume, but they just grind up forever. If you're like a conspiracy theorist, um, you might say that's all the Fed pushing the, the plunge protecting. They're just keep grinding the market up. KR, I've seen many of your comments in my channel. Seems like you're an engineer and you're very interested in automated trading and how this script is made. Obviously I don't want to like give away the algorithm, but I don't mind telling you all the rules of the trading. And I think personally it's amazing if more and more people make good indicators out there, help the community. I have an indicator here. It's just one of, there's not actually many. I think there's like 2 viable ones right now. Very expensive. The other ones I think are kind of expensive, and some of them, I think TDU has one, and I think they do have a indicator counting legs, but I think it comes with a bunch of extra, things that I personally don't like. I think it's just noise. I like to focus on the price action. So yeah, we're still in a downtrend here, and we're going down. So you do not take this long here. Do not take that long if that triggers. Actually, this is double bottom. Nah, follow through on the bear bar here. Big bear bar, follow through. That means this is measuring. So if we measure this with this tool, that line makes a midpoint. So you put that midpoint right there, and here is your measured move. So this is what we call a measuring bar. If there's a big bar and there's follow through, you expect to hit the measured move, which is just double of this. So this is a target here. Let's see if it matches with anything on the left here. There's some like support here you can argue, but nothing I see that's super convincing. Yeah, nothing I see that's super convincing. Follow through on a 10K chart, you expect more to go down here as well. Potential measured move here. You expect it to hit something like around here. But yeah, I think more indicators, the better. TDU has one, but like I said, you're paying extra. You're paying like about 250 bucks for kind of a bunch of features that I personally just wouldn't like. I like the pure just counting, telling me what's important for price action and let me decide. I don't trust any system. So you see you're approaching the measure move. That's why you don't go long. Whoever went long there got silly trapped. That was like a foolish long to go on. I mean, look at the bull bars and look at the higher time frames. Okay, measure move hit on the 5-minute. Measure move hit. That means it's the measure move is hit, so it could bounce here, but basically this bar measured and it hit it. It took that whole measured move here. Reversing now. This might be a good place for reversal. That is a good bar to go into, I think. I might go in here actually. We're still trapped here. I can go into retracement. Oh, follow through is terrible now. Ooh, that actually isn't bad, but man, very bearish at the moment. Breaking through the measured move. That's incredible. 10K. Oh, 10K just hit the measured move. Beautiful. Bouncing off now. I'm interested in this trade here, in this 2-legged pullback. I'm interested here. If it's a good signal bar, I'd be pretty interested. A, B, C. 2-legged pullback. Hit the measure move on 10K chart. Priming up my order. I'm going to go with a small retracement here if I can. Give me the retracement. Alright, I'm in this trade. I'm going to keep it at, actually I'm going to keep it, yeah, keep it at 4 points. Let's see what happens. Ooh, it's a bad idea. I like the signal bar here, plus the measure move was hit on the 10K chart, and yeah, measure move hit perfectly on the 10K chart. Good signal bar, slowing down of bearish momentum. All right, got my scalp right there. Not gonna lie, it's nerve-wracking to trade live here, just cause I mean it adds the extra pressure that you already have. But yeah, so that was the bottom of this trend, and approached actually this support here. Didn't quite hit it, but I'm glad I kept it here because it's getting close. But I hope that made sense here, this measure move, why I took this trade. If you saw this bear bar, if I make a line here, you see where that midpoint is on this line. So this is kind of where you expect it. You actually want to put one tick below, because that's where people enter. And this is the measured move, so it hit it perfectly. The reason why I did a measure move there, so these big bars, you have to ask yourself this question: is this a measuring bar or an exhaustion bar? And you knew this was a measuring bar because of the follow through. The next bar closed underneath it. If you see bad follow through and starting to reverse, then you can kind of guess it might be a exhaustion bar, more chance to be exhaustion bar. But I saw it as a measuring bar because of this follow through here, and so I doubled it, basically doubled the bar, the size of the bar, and made a measuring move here with this horizontal line. And I saw on the 2K chart, right at that spot, this basically look at this trap here. So people who went long here got trapped out. You know, if you did like a Mackian stop, which is one tick below this signal bar, then you would have got stopped out right there. But look at the trap. The trap goes how many ticks? Look at this, is very important. It goes only 5 ticks. And so in a sense, this might be a failed trap, right? A failed second entry. Because you know that even though it hit it at 5 ticks, there's still trap traders here. They're most likely not filled. And then when it reversed, they mostly got other positions, and this is why I entered here. A lot of questions. There's a lot of chat going on. So I'm going to go back to KR's question. Can I make a fully automated system based on two-legged pullbacks or traps? Very good question. In fact, I am working on something like that, and that's probably will be like version 2.0 of the two-legged pullback indicator. I'm gonna try to do some automation here, and of course I would not release it unless I felt confident. Even this indicator, I did not want to release it unless I felt super confident for it in myself. But man, it will be very selective. If that automated strategy ran, I would not trust it to take. In general, even self-driving cars, you know, you do not trust anything in your life that your life depends on to be automatic. Self-driving cars, you know, even though it's getting better, you still want to be careful. Automated trading strategies, if you're talking about, you can lose, like, you know, your entire balance. Very scary stuff. So in general, I'm pretty hesitant to do any you know, automated strategy, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't try. If I were to make a fully automated strategy, I would essentially do a couple things here. Speedboy's asking why our charts look different. I don't know. You gotta ask Ninja Trader that. Just to make sure, are you on the right futures contract? I'm on March 21st. Could you explain measure moves in another video? I could do that. When do you take second entry? When do you take fail second entry? Sorry, newbie here. What reason didn't you update ascending channel? Didn't get that. Okay. A lot of questions here. I can't answer everything and also trade at the same time. This is a possible failed second entry here, as you can see. We could be at essential place here, but it depends on how you think how strong this measure move is. If you okay, so technically that trap did trigger if you want to count the previous bar. My script on outside bars waits till the bar's finished before waiting for the next leg. So optically you have to look at this, and you might miss it if you just depend on the indicator, but it might trigger anyways here, the trap. Let's see. This could trap, but I wouldn't take this trap here. It's way too bearish at the moment. I need more signs before I really go opposite. I just made this one trade because plenty of room to the 20 EMA, but if I'm thinking of reversal, like it can come back up here, it'll take a lot more than this to convince me that this strong bear trend has reversed. You know, I would need a double bottom. I would need something. Overlapping bars on the 5-minute showing indecision. Actually, it's interesting. On the 5-minute, it closed above the measured move on the 5-minute, which I use this bar here. So very interesting. Might be in trading range. You kind of expect trading range after a trend. So, you know, I wouldn't go long there, but I would maybe expect trading range, maybe possible double bottom here. But I would need the market to tell me that. I can't just bank on it that happening. So you need to update this. See, it broke above. It broke above it. It came back down. So now we update. It's still a valid channel. And we also want to update the bottom channel. We can use all of these points now. So we'll use this point. Very strong bearish move so far still. Strong bear bar, but reversed with a strong bull bar. Let's see the bull bars. Let's see if they start making points now. This bull bar struggling to make a point, but almost there. Needs one more tick. Okay. Made a scalper's profit. So now the bull bars are making points. That gives us clues saying that at least the bull scalps are in, right? At least the weak bulls are in to make their scalp, which they made. That to me I would not take. I mean, just because we're still in a downtrend and we're so close to resistance, I would need more information. Am I trading top step? I do not know what top step is. Oh, you're asking Speedy Boy. Everything is copy pasted from you. Just caught a scalp. Why did you stop using the 2584? I guess two big reasons. One reason is because the Mackians like the 2K chart. And I think the Mackians are the ones who enjoy the content the most because they're the most interested, you know. The ones who want to learn Mac's system on price action trading system. By the way, I have nothing against Mac. I love Mac. I think he's awesome. I think he's great. I mean, I just have a slightly different style, and I incorporate more Al Brooks teaching in when I read price action, but I have nothing against Mac. I think he's great. I mean, so much content is for free, and you know, even for me, I learned a lot from him. I started actually my journey. I think is silly because and honestly probably represents a lot of your journeys. You know, started with Michael Chin, and after Michael Chin, you realize, you know, there was something sketchy going on, and then you move to Mac. You realize that they had like an allegation that they basically stole Mac's material, and I didn't know about Mac, and I wouldn't have known about Mac unless Michael Chin basically did what he did. So I'm thankful for Michael Chin for that. And then so I switched over to Mac to learn a little more technically what's happening here. And then after I learned Mac, learned from Al Brooks, I started to look at Al Brooks' stuff and read his books. And so I have a lot of incorporation. So those like little details like this, perfect, like the scalp making only 5 ticks here, taking this trade, being confident in that trade. That's an Al Brooks thing. I didn't make that up. You know, these little things like follow through after big bear bars, Al Brooks. You know, that's Al Brooks. And so those little details I learned from Al Brooks, and I think that kind of gets you over the hump. I think to try to become profitable here. So measure move. So this downtrend continues. You know, that's why we're waiting for a sign. Even though they made a scalp here, that's in my opinion pretty risky. We're actually at support now. We're actually hitting this, and terrible signal bar. So I wouldn't take it, but that could make a point. Made a point. Talking too much. All right, I'm trying to do too many things. Do you find? I don't know. I don't know if I think Fridays are more volatile than other days. I think any day could be volatile. I think anyone who says Mondays and Fridays are volatile, blah, 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 in my opinion, it's not too helpful for me, because I think, honestly, you should always be ready for the unexpected. Always expect the unexpected. Always expect anything can happen at any time. Always expect the worst. And I think that's just my mindset when I trade. I'm going to go back to this automated trading thing. Yeah, thanks for breaking the law, Michael Chen. You helped us all. But, oh, sorry, yeah, okay, let me finish answering this 2584. So 2584 also, I liked it. I traded with it and I, tested it. I just wanted to play around with it. No one else was using 2584. I figured the Fibonacci numbers would be good. So this is actually looking like a reversal. So this is kind of what you want to look for, reversal. One more push, strong push down. But we still need to break above this trend line, obviously, and break above the 20 EMA. We need to see a clear break, come down, and start to use that as support. That's when I will feel like we are reversing here. By the way, I'm going to end the stream probably at 10:30. We'll do 1 hour streaming here. So I started to see that the 2K chart started making cleaner two-legged pullbacks, and so I decided to switch over to the 2K, trade it for a little bit, see how I like it. I might switch back to 2584, just depends, but yeah. Second entry short at EMA and trendline. Oh, this guy right here. Yeah, I think I would have considered that, but remember this trend line looked like this before, right? The trend line looked like this before and it broke out. So I don't trade against the breakout, right? Like basically the second entry is right here, right? You have this second entry. It's tight, but it's there. A, B, one tick above. C, you got second entry. But remember the chart looked like this. So I'm not going to trade like against this possible support, resistance acting as support now. Even though it's under the 20 EMA, I don't take that trade. This could reverse and trap you out. Also, measured move on the 10K was perfect. And so there's possibility it could reverse here and keep going up at least maybe one more leg. And that's the reason why I didn't take that trade. But now I updated so it looks like this. So now it kind of looks like, oh, it's a perfect hit. But that's only because I updated to it. Hope that makes sense for the person asking, Phil W asking, what do you think of the second entry short at 3701, which is right there. You see this two-legged pullback, but it's now again off beautiful support here, right? I kept this trend line on the 2K chart. Strong bull bars, but this is a two-legged pullback. A, B, C, strong bull bars. And we're hitting now the top of this. Still strong bull bars. Look at this bear leg here. Look at this bear leg. This bear leg ended up bullish or neutral, close to neutral, above the 50% mark. That is signs of reversal here. So we are maybe starting to see reversal here. We are breaking out of the trend line and above the 20 EMA off of support. And so I would not take this short. I would not take this short. I am not taking this short here. And if you were, this is most likely going to be a bad signal bar. If anything, I would wait for the trap on the other side here. Because we're breaking out of this now, but we'll see. We're still on a pretty strong downtrend. But yeah, if this like reverses here on this bull bar, like it tries to make a two-legged pullback right here, this is where you wait for a trap. This is like the perfect place for a trap here. In a sense, you almost want to see it, break down, right? This failed second entry short, right? You kind of want to see it break down a little bit, because you want to wait for the trap. You want to trap those traders. So, but it doesn't look like it's happening because it's the bulls are too strong now. Bull bar ending on its high with follow through here. So I'm answering questions. I feel like I'm jumping around ever. This is the first time I'm well, second time, but first time I'm doing this kind of like in like a like the busy hour, power hour, not power hours, last hour, whatever the first hour trading is called. So I'm getting a lot of questions here. I'm gonna keep going back to this question of automated trading. All right, decent signal bar, but still you wait for a trap here. This is still a good trap trade. So we have you know, the traders here who went short forgot that we broke. Okay, so it made a point. It made exactly 5 ticks. So you know there's trap traders here still. Exactly 5 ticks. You know there's trap traders. You can possibly take this trade, but I was more interested in it was a full trap without hitting the scalper's profit. But the scalper's profit is hit, that's why the trap is gone. But there's still trap traders here for sure. And you can see it reversing already. You can see the bears realizing their mistake. And if it hits this, I wouldn't be surprised if it spikes up, but I won't take it. I wouldn't take this trade just because I saw that actually hit. And we're still on a pretty strong downtrend. I do want to see the reaction here. If we see this hit and it spikes up, I think we have a good reversal here and we can start looking for long entries. That's my take at least. Let's see what happens when it hits this. You see the perfect 5-tick hit. So you know there's trap traders here. Even though this is not a technical trap, it is still a trap because it hit the 5 ticks perfectly. So it ticked above 2. I want to see this trap or this pseudo trap here. I want to see how this reacts. If this starts to go up high, then I think bulls are in control and we look for a long entry. And by then we'll be above the 20 MA. Okay, so the trap was weak, right? The trap didn't really make the scalper's profit. So we could be in a trading range possibly here. Double top here. That was a weak follow through. Okay, more follow through, but bears are coming with limit orders 2 ticks above here. Do you see that? Bears are coming in. Limit orders. Another potential trap here, but now we're hitting our heads on the top of this range. Wouldn't take this trap, not enough room. Maybe I can get one more trade in here and then I'll call it a day. That's my 500, but okay, those who went short here failed to make a point. So the bulls here failed to make a point. The bears here failed to make a point. Even though I did hit a scalper's profit, but you know they're trap traders because they hit it perfectly. The bears here are currently failed to make a point. That's a good bar for bears. Bears are kind of happy to see a bar like that. We're going to hit it at the zeros. Okay, point is our scalper's profit made again for the bears. Right on the 20 EMA. You know they're trap traders here again because you know these guys are not all out. These guys are not all out because they made a perfect 5 ticks. I need to see it again. I need to see what happens again. I wasn't convinced with that. You know, look at that trap. That pseudo trap. Maybe I should have another signal color for pseudo traps when it makes exactly 5 ticks because that information is important. Okay, so now look at the price action. Price action is telling us bears are all out because it made 6 ticks. All the scalps are out. We failed to even reach the previous pivot high right here, major pivot high. Strong bear bars. Let's see what happens when we hit the top of this. I'm really curious here. When we hit the top of this trend line. We didn't quite get there. Will you consider opening a private room? Why? This is better. Public room is better, no? Personally, I'm not. I have nothing to really gain in a private room. I don't know. I could charge for it, but again, I have a full-time job, so there's no way I can maintain that. I'm off today, so that's kind of why I'm doing this with you guys this morning. You see this bull bar here? Made scalper's profit. We're seeing more bulls coming in. This will be aggressive. Something like this. I think it'd be kind of aggressive because we're slicing in and out of the 20 EMA still. But this is a potential entry here. Potential entry here. We're banking on a reversal here. Strong bull bars. This bear leg turning bullish. Breaking out. Breaking above the 20 EMA. What do you guys think? Let me put a poll up here. Let's see the second pullback trigger first, and I'll put the poll up to see if you guys wanna, what you guys think of this second entry long here. First, we need the bear leg to commence, breaking prior candle's low. Once this breaks below, I'll put the poll up. You guys can vote. Let's see here if it triggers this second. Here it is. I put the poll up. Should we take this second entry long from this dark green? Do you see this dark green diamond? Should we take this second entry long? Do we have enough here? Bar is looking very bearish. I would think we need a good signal bar if we're going to take this. That is looking nasty. That is, you do not want to take that right now. I'll just say that right now. You do not want to, you want to take back your vote. If you can, you should, but you do not want to take this at the moment. Do we want to take it when it hits the bottom of this, basically the support now? This resistance possibly acting as support. Do we want to take this two-legged pullback? We need enough room to the 20 EMA to consider it. Good signal bar. Ooh. Good signal bar. Not enough room. 20 EMA is blocking it. Okay. Signal bar looked very bullish, but now it doesn't. It ended neutral. Do we take this second entry long? You guys say no. I agree. Not enough room. 20 EMA. Always assume there are buyers and sellers. Always assume the worst. Always assume there's sellers at the 20 EMA here. Even if it bursts up 20 points, 20,000 points from here, it was still a good decision not to enter. KR says wait for a good signal bar. Point still has not been made. Only 4 ticks. Exactly 4 ticks and it reversed. I think traders wanted to see what happens. Some traders came in right there. They saw what they liked and they wanted to enter a second time with limit orders. So now they're in with limit orders here on the retracement. Limit order bulls are still here. Limit order bulls still buying up 1 tick below the high. Limit order bulls still here. Limit order bulls are feeling a little disappointed because they didn't like that 1 tick below. If this trap triggers, okay, limit order bulls still happy. Always assume they're sellers at the 20 EMA. Okay, 4 ticks, 1 more tick, the trap is gone. All right, there we go. So the bulls made a point here. As you can see, we're kind of choppy here. They're not overlapping bars, but the space between the pivot high and pivot low is very little, right? Maybe 2 points, maybe 3 points. Here, barely 2 points, not even 2 points. So in my opinion, this was a risky trade if you were to take that. Bad signal bar, as some of you guys mentioned, right? 20 EMA blocking you. But still, I thought it was a good chance to make a point because we saw this reversal here, right? Breaking out, coming above the 20 EMA. But notice how we broke down back below the 20 EMA, strong bear bar. So not convinced enough. You know, I wouldn't say that's a 90% probability trade, right? That's not a 90% to me. Maybe a 75%. I don't know. Very like likely, but not, or maybe even very likely, but not super likely. Let's just say that. We're looking for super likely trades. How about that? So measure move possibility here. We have this. We have this. So this bull trend, two-legged pullback. Let's see if it hits the measure move. If it doesn't hit the measure move, then this is just it's not even a swing trade. All right, I'm going to go back to KR's question because I think it's a good one. I'm going to keep answering this question as we wait because look at the counts have reset. We have a gray one here. That means first pullback, first entry. So we have to wait for a couple legs now for any type of entry here. Can we automate the two-legged pullback trading system? In my opinion, if I were to automate it, I would do only one setup. I would do only one setup. And I would automate it because, you know, I would want it to run maybe overnight or I guess even during the day while I'm not looking at the computer. But the one setup I would look for or have automated is a two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA. Now, not every two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA is created equal. Obviously, if you've been trading long enough. Just for instance, we'll look back. Here is one two-legged pullback that makes a point. Very nice. We wouldn't consider this one because it's under the 20 EMA, right? So we'll take that one out. You would have to consider many things when doing, if you were to do it. This one you might consider because the trigger is above the 20 EMA. Here again, this is a nice two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA. See, you can see it with the dark green ones. That's why this indicator is good just for studying. So you can just say, oh yeah, I feel more confident because every time I look at this chart, every time it hits 20 EMA with a two-legged pullback or dark green number, I'm seeing points made, right? Dark green, dark red number. That also is a possible 20 EMA. Here, we have a two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA, but fails. You would have to include certain things like parameters, like are we making enough swings to make a point here? You know, something like that. Here is a two-legged pullback off the 20 EMA, makes a point as well. Another two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA makes a point. You can see a dark green one. We have a two-legged pullback at the 20 EMA, but this one might not count because the first leg begins under the 20 EMA, right? So A, B, C, A. It traps you out actually. If you kept your 4-point stop, 1, 2, 3, 4, you've been safe there, actually. Here's a 20 EMA that I took yesterday. You know, so as you just look back at this, you know, using the indicator, you can see that a lot of the pullbacks at 20 EMA are very, very likely. They're very likely. But again, not every two-legged pullback to 20 EMA is created equal. I think you would need to put more things in there to make sure that you have a high probability trade. One of them I think is first initial trend needs to be strong, right? It can't be kind of choppy like this. It can't be going in and out of the 20 EMA. It has to have several bars above the 20 EMA. What else? Bar sizes, I think, are important. Preceding bar. I don't know. This is so much to consider. Price action is like, it's like almost writing if you're making an automated script, I think, for this, you almost have to consider like making like a language simulator or something. All right, cool. I'm going to end the poll. 71% said no, don't take that. And that's the right answer, even though it still made a point. I think that was the right answer still. Exactly. That's another thing to consider. Are we in a trading range? Are we choppy? And are we making two-legged pullbacks at the 20 EMA? And so that's a huge question to ask because your bot could trigger 20 trades off a choppy market just bouncing in and out of the 20 EMA. So that's very scary to consider, right? You have to have a good way to discern choppiness, which at this moment I think the best way to discern is by doing it by eye. But okay, so this measure move failed, not even close. I didn't think it was gonna be close either. But we're making a higher low here. I'm gonna end this stream in about 5 minutes. I just wanted to trade 1 hour with you guys. But it'd be nice if we get one more trade in here. Let's look at the 5 minute. Are we getting anything juicy? Look at the 5 minute. This is what we've been trading into. I like to use a 5 minute to see, if we're trending or if we're in a range. 5 minutes is very useful in many ways. You can also trend because you see strong bear bars. Trading range 1, 2. This pure overlapping 1, 2. Just these two overlapping will have to make you consider this might be trading range. Also, after strong bear trends or bull trends, typically you enter in trading range. There are times you do bounce like V bottoms, A tops, but typically you do trading range. And this is the typical motion here. We do have a two-legged pullback setting up on the 5 minute, but do we take this? Definitely not. Look at how choppy we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars in a row on the 5 minute overlapping. Trap on the 10K chart. Actually had a two-legged pullback, make a point on the other side with a trap. If I saw this on the 10K chart, I might have considered it, but yeah, this measure move, I don't know. This is tricky. You might want to consider this. A, B, actually A, B, C, A. But these wicks you need to be wary of. When you see wicks, think trading range. When I say think trading range for wicks, what I mean by that is in a smaller time frame, this is a trading range, right? This is 1 bar up, 1 bar down. So in a smaller time frame, this is a trading range. Ooh, we're breaking down. We're gonna hit the 240 SMA on the 10K chart. We want that. We broke down everything on the 5 minute. We want the 240 SMA on the 10K chart. When's the last time we hit it? Last time we hit it was over here. And when we hit it from above, bounced off of it, finally came up, came down, bounced off of it, 240 SMA on the 10K chart happening. Automating traps only. Traps also are very important context-wise. You can't take every trap, and it's your chances increase with traps. I will say that. From my experience, traps, if you have the indicator, you can see all the traps with magenta boxes. Just look at the traps here. This trap made a point. This trap, it fails. Actually, it does make a point. But look at it. It calculated after the outside bar. So technically, you could have perhaps traded it right here, when it broke the prior candle's high. By the way, this is a very technical reason why this happens. You want the outside bar to finish before you calculate the next bar. Here, this trap makes a point. Here, this trap makes a point. This trap makes a point. These traps make a point. So I just went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the last traps. 7 out of 7 last traps all made a point. One thing is, how would you know that unless you have the indicator? You wouldn't, unless you're super quick at reading failed second entries, which is very hard. But the indicator will help you just read it really fast. Second is the traps themselves are very reliable, I think. But I think context matters still. I think the most powerful setup probably I've seen is a trap second entry, if that makes sense. It's a trap and second entry at the same time. Okay, we have a potential wedge here, but it's an ugly wedge. It didn't actually hit the wedge here. Do I want this long? How's my 5 minute look? 5 minute looks like it's dripping, but creating long tails. I think we're still in a downtrend until proven otherwise. We hit this perfectly now. and we made a point. Terrible signal bar, wouldn't have taken that trade. But we did hit this perfectly, this trend line. What do we have here? Possible lower double bottom. I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer and see if I can get one more. I just don't know. I don't know my next setup. You know, when you look at this chart, what's your next setup? What are you thinking? What are you guys thinking? I mean, we gotta anticipate the next trade. Are we thinking of this? You know, are we thinking of something like this? Is that our next trade? Is that our next trade? Short? You know, what's our next trade here? I can't see one clearly. Only thing I can see clearly is maybe this wedge being hit at the 240 SMA on the 10K chart. I want to see this price action. Either something like this, and we hit it, which would be beautiful. Or we can just see it like how it's already forming. A, B, C, A. But looking at the price action right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to get to my 240 SMA. It doesn't seem like it's going to get to my wedge. It almost got there, but it didn't get there quite yet, which actually makes me more hesitant. But this 10K chart could make a point, but if you're going to take this 10K trade, consider your risk. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4.5 points of risk here. And yeah, and the setup is not perfect, right? This is not the best signal bar. We've been on a downtrend, and I just think I need more than this to take this long here, even though this can make a point. You also have the 20 EMA blocking you. Okay, so we have another bear leg ending bullish. Do we want this two-legged pullback? No, 20 EMA in the way. Do not ever trade against the 20 EMA. Exactly, KR had it right. The 20 EMA on the 2K chart could mess up the 10K chart long. So that's also another reason why I have these multiple time frames, because I have this very strong resistance here, and I can consider that when I look at the 10K chart. You know, you don't see the 20 EMA until way up here, but it's invisible to you. But if you have the 2K chart, you can see it. All right, but look at this. If we have a double bottom here, my trade setup would look like this. Something like this. Let me make it more clear. Uptrend, two-legged pullback, something like this. That would be a trade I would consider. But because of potential double bottom, breaking above the 20 MA, do I want this short here? This is actually a two-legged pullback to the 20 MA. The reason why I wouldn't take this short here, it's also a trap, which is a little tricky to think about, but it's a two-legged pullback trap. And I just said this might be one of the best setups in and of itself. But you know, I'm gonna have to take those words back, because here you see this bear leg turning bullish. You do not want to trade against that, right? If a bear leg turns bullish, typically, you know, you have bulls here. You know, even on the bear leg, the bulls wanted to buy it up. Okay, so it does make a point. So maybe I proved myself wrong. The the trap second entry makes a point regardless, but notice is exactly 5 ticks. 5 ticks were made, and so trap traders here for sure. I want to see how it reacts when this leg commences. How would you manage this trade, chat? Would you stop out once your target's hit? Okay. So now all the scalpers are out. In my mind, maybe I'm thinking too much. That was just a solid two-legged pullback to the 20 MA. That's just all that was. I got scared because of this bar here. I got really scared because of this bar. Bear leg turning bullish. I've been burned by that a couple times. But still, you know, if you just saw this two-legged pullback to the 20 MA, you could have just taken that trade, but not my cup of tea. Did we trap out here? Okay. We're on a trap on a 10K chart. That's scary. That's really scary. If you got trapped here, that's a lot of risk. But if I see a good setup here, if I see a good signal bar around this area down here, I would consider going long. That's my only trade setup at the moment. Alright guys, 10:30. Since the next setup I see, you could take this trap, might be a good trap, but notice you have a wedge here, potentially blocking you. But I'm gonna close up the stream now. It's been real, it's been fun. I don't know if I'm gonna do this again. I might just take a break all next week, just chill, relax, enjoy Christmas, the holidays. But excellent questions, man. I mean, I would definitely do this again if I'm off, just because you guys are awesome community. And so I'm gonna wrap up the stream now. Hopefully, even though we only got one trade in, hopefully it's been beneficial for you guys. And yeah, like as always, happy trading. God bless, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon.